Welcome to the Blessed Teach Show. This is Rick, your host, here on Saturday, December 28th, and we are continuing the series on Trump versus Colt 93. I couldn't even get through part 2 yesterday in a full show, so we're going to go over to part 2B and get into the beginning of part 3A. There's also some new Q posts. I'm going to try to do 2 shows today. I haven't done that very often, but we'll see if I can squeeze it in. I'm still having those of you in the Culture Impact System. I'll meet you at 3 o'clock here in about a little over an hour. And then after that, I'm going to try to load up and go to part 3B and 4A, maybe even get all the way through them today. We'll see. But quite exciting to see how much we have going on with both SB2 decodes as well as QAnon. And I can't even get to the news. It's so crazy, but that's fun. That's okay. We're also going to have, for those of you who want to go backstage with me, I'm there now as well. And so we'll have a 5-minute conversation after the show. I'm going to have to go only about 55 minutes now so I can get to the Culture Impact System at the top of the hour. Busy day. But also, Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, we're going to have Gene Unleashed. So I know we talk about the 10 levels and try to keep Gene, when I'm going over certain items, document the heck out of things at levels 2, 3, 4 type thing. Well, he's going to go level 10, and you guys ask him anything you want. That's Gene Unleashed. I'm going to do that at the end of each month, and that'll be Monday night, 7 p.m. Right now, by the way, you can join backstage for 30 days for free and see if you like it or not. And that goes away on January 2nd. So again, if you want the Christmas New Year's special, and get 30 days for free on Backstage, go sign up for it now. It's also 30% off of the normal monthly cost, and another 30% off if you pay for the year in advance. But again, the first 30 days is absolutely free if you want to see Gene Unleashed Monday night at 6 p.m. Let's get into this. I need to greet some of the people. Harold Yarborough was first. Says, Panic in D.C. I'm in my zen. And we have a bunch of other people that have come on. I see David from New Zealand. I'm just looking for cities and where you guys are all from. I saw people talking from Austria. Isabella, thank you for that. Is awesome. I love it. And we have a lot of discussion going on, but it's kind of cool. Somebody's saying, Rick actually uniting the world. That's cool. That's funny. Hello from Michigan. Hello from Minnesota. Oklahoma here. Seattle, Norway. Old Norwegian woman from Norway. That is just awesome. Seattle, South Alabama. I just love to see this. UK, England. I love it. Austria on board. What do we have here? I'm looking at just some other cities real quick here. Happily belated birthday, Rick, says Lynn. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's cool to have Austria, UK, all of these people on from all over the place. Europe. We've got England. I know somebody's saying Austria is an hour in front of England. I see. Texas, Michigan, Pennsylvania. I can't get through them all, guys, or we're going to not get going here. So somebody says, greeting Patriots from Galway, Ireland. Wow, I may need to try to go do these earlier on Saturday more often because I get a different group of people, and it's really fun to see that. Thank Adeline for the waving. All right, here we go. She's from California, she calls it. All right, I am going to get this rolling with some Q drops first. I'm going to talk about the sponsor, though, real quick. But I'm going to go over one Q post because we talked about Pearson at 37.55. The next one was a 37.56. You can see there's a picture of Trump, I think coming out, probably the helicopter that takes him to Air Force One. And when will they ask the question is what an Anon is talking about. The question being is, who is Q? Do you support Q? QAnon, who's QAnon? That's the question that we're asking. And so Q posts this Anon deal, and he says something big in capital letters, is coming. Q. Woo! So something big is coming. There we go. You got to love that. All right. So let me get to the sponsor of this show. These guys are awesome. Gold/silver/precious metals IRAs is something you should consider when you're diversifying outside of just stocks and bonds, right? And again, there's a lot of companies that are struggling with their pension plans and funding those, and so finding your pension suddenly terminated isn't a great place to be, but it does give you a few options. You can withdraw your funds and get taxed a lot. And if your workplace has gone out of business, but you have a new job, you can roll it over to a new employer, but you'll have all the same risk. Or you can put that money into your own personal IRA account where it's your right to choose your own investment. With stock markets, property, and bonds looking rocky right now, precious metals, gold, silver might be the way to go. Noble Gold are experts on precious metal IRAs, and they've kept thousands of families safe when their futures were pulled from under them. Call 1-877-646-5347 or hit the link below in the YouTube video and get a free investment guide. Secure your family's fortune and get a tax break with a precious metals IRA. And again, click in that down below for the link or call 877-646-5347. Tell them Blessed to Teach sent ya. All right, back to some Q posts. You got that was 3756, 3757. God wins. This Anon says God wins. He just reposts it. Gotta love that. That's 3757 because that's exactly what's happening here, guys. I really believe that God is behind his hands all over this movement, all over QAnon, all over the White Hat movement, all over President Donald J. Trump, and we're seeing it right before our eyes as evil's being exposed everywhere. I just love it. I love this entire movement because we are together growing stronger in the Lord. And together, again, we are the one that has to fight the spiritual battle because we have the true God relationship with God through Christ. And there's tons and tons of people who think they're spiritual but don't have that, so they don't have a real connection to the true God. If you don't have, that's why Jesus makes it really clear. The only way to get to the Father is through Him. So there's a lot of religions out there that teach that Jesus is not the Son of God and is not divine. Well, that's just a false teaching and a false God. So I just want to let you guys know that if you have Jesus in your heart, you are part of the army of God, and we need to do some things about that. By the way, we need to honor what happened on the cross, and that cross is how we have that connection. And so God wins, and God is looking for His remnant to be praying through this. Here is 50. He's reposting 3591, and we're all the way up at 3758. So this was back all the way in November of 2019. And it said follow the family, and it had a YouTube video here that you could watch. And I see if they still have that link active. Oh no, they don't. That's just a picture, is what that is. So this was a picture, so I can't see what that exactly was. But it's follow the family. But here is. They are fighting for their lives. Good people in place. Q. This was a tweet on a Wild Crazy Nancy. What's going on? This is big stuff. Where you have Constitutional Republic text Trump. Onan exposes those Democrats with the RATS and their Ukraine ties. Joe and Hunter and Nancy and Paul. Seems like it's a family affair. What's going on here? Pay attention at 113 in this video as it has been removed from social media. So this is minute 52, exposure of the Democrats.
As the Ukraine scandal backfires on the Biden family, the Pelosi's may be the next to come under scrutiny. An old promotional video resurfaced on Thursday, more than 6 years after it was uploaded by an energy company which does business in Ukraine. The video starts out with Nancy Pelosi speaking about her efforts in office to push for clean energy.
Breaking our crippling addiction to oil.
Her message is followed by a promotional statement from her son Paul, who is a board member of Visk Oil and an executive at its related company Energy Lab.
My name is Paul Pelosi. Of course, I'm on the board of Visk Oil. And Viskel's here today.
And I'm not going to play that whole 2-minute clip, but you get the point of it. Then it goes into Nancy Pelosi and it goes into Joe Biden, etc., and really shows the corruption there. So great little video. Go ahead and watch that. I'm going to try to get to as much as SB2 as we can. And with that, I might move on to go to SB2. If you look at that's 3758. See if the other one was this other one. Let me go to this because this was also last night, December 27th. You had this Nancy and Paul. Seems like it's a family affair, right? That same thing. But look, Donald J. Trump retweeted it, and that's having people freak out because this was basically retweeted by or dropped by Q, and then he retweeted what Q was talking about. Donald J. Trump retweets himself 2 hours later. driving the point home. Post drop, 5-5 So really interesting how you got Q and Trump talking about the same tweet. That is a 5-5 of how they are coordinating. And then it starts getting all the posts today. I'm going to cover that tonight. So the rest of the Q posts I'm going to cover tonight on a post in about 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, somebody says, where has SB2 been? AWK has not been mentioning him lately. Yeah, well, that's because he just did a post that's like 5. It's going to take him like 5 shows, like me, if you could go over it. It'll be interesting to see how everybody breaks it up that's doing the productions. As you know, I don't have time. I work full time, as you guys know. I do not have time to edit anything. I'm trying to find an editor. Got one guy that looks awesome that I'm interested in. I'm hoping that he'll get back to me. But I do need an editor that has a good experience with editing. But I have no time to edit. So all my SB2 is going to be warts and all, right? Me mispronouncing some of the stuff the big words he uses and all these bizarre concepts I haven't read about before or pronounced before. But you're going to get here first, SB2 here first for me. I'm going to get through them all quickly, hopefully by tomorrow. We'll take 4 or 5 shows to get through it. Let's talk about Serial Brain. I'm going to try. I think I figured this out now, how to do this. This is using Reddit because I can get the text bigger for you guys. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. Here's part 4. I'm going to go back to part 2. At the end of that, you'll see like here's part 4, the dark to light series of this. And so I'll give you guys the links to all of these. You can, once you get to part 1, at the end of it has part 2. At the end of that, it has part 3, and at the end of that has part 4. All 78 images, etc. Here's part 3. Obviously, there we'll get to the part that we might get to that here soon to get to part 3. But I'm talking about part 2 now, where we just ended up. We ended up, I think, through 36 or so. Where WAPO got triggered, Washington Post got triggered, and then the maestro gave you the hint right here when you asked about Colonel Vindman's Congress testimony. Did you catch it? He first called Vindman Vinderman and later seamlessly corrected it. Comms territory, here's a solution, and we went over this in the last episode. So I'm going to skip this one, basically by Vindman, by Kent, where they are being exposed through his comms, talking about tie, and it's clearly talking about the link into the bow tie here, right? Into the Quartz article that was all coded, Colt 93 coded messages through the MSM. That's how they do it. So the website link you'll see in the show notes. Go to blessed2teach.com, blessed2teach.com. I got people asking about that. And the Reddit links are there. So, and I'll just show you guys right now, just to show. So if you go to blessed2teach.com with a number 2 in the middle, you'll see this is the website. You go to show notes, and you'll see all my show notes here. Here's the one that was for the very first one. I do have a team that does not work on the weekends, so show notes are a little late on the weekends, but in the weekdays they're real timely. But you'll see here, you'll find all the stuff here, and I'm going to link right down below once I say SB2 Decode. You can see I actually post all the pictures for you anyway, so you may not even have to go to the link. But Trump versus 93 Colt is there, right there. Okay. Now another way you can do this is going to bring you to the vote.co. The newer ones I actually put Reddit. So you can just type in Reddit SB2. That's all you had to do. REDDIT, and you're going to see SB2 submitted by SB2 Reddit.com. And you can even get more to find this series. You can see Reddit SB2. I'm in DuckDuckGo right now, and you type in Trump versus Colt as an example, and then you're going to get those 4 articles right here. Right? It brings my videos up, and it also will bring up the actual Reddit post. Okay, and so that's a bit. Here's a Reddit. So just look for Reddit, and boom, there you are. Right. You'll also find them on my show notes. Everything you need. Again, you can subscribe. One of the things I always ask you to do is probably easiest to subscribe to my Blessed to Teach show notes, and I'll email these to you. And that's easy to do. You just scroll down and put your email right here. Right? Another way to contact me is to send me my email. Is to send me an email right here, and hit subscribe to the list that kill two birds with one stone if you want to talk to me. All right. So that's telling everybody how you get to all this fun stuff that we're talking about. Now, let's we went over this decoded message with Kent by Vindman. So as he exposes every one of these guys, it's really amazing to see. So I'm going to put this right here so I can quickly jump in between everything. So that now I'm going to continue right here. Do you now see why Colt 93 has a problem sending impeachment to the Senate? The maestro confirming my earlier decode about wanting a trial where their crimes would become public is one problem. The other is that his comm showed that he had it all about their witnesses. They are neutralized. They can't function anymore. The maestro summarizes this reality with the question, where is the whistleblower? To explain nervous Nancy's apparent irrationality on the impeachment process, we first need to see that because the maestro is 12 moves ahead, they failed to secure the leverage they thought they needed to force him to negotiations about their crimes. Second, we need to remember these people are Satanists. Q3, many in our government worship Satan. Most of the things they do are based on rituals, satanic calendars, etc. Did you notice that the impeachment vote occurred exactly 1,063 days after Trump's inauguration ceremony? This is Colt 93 asking for help to the immortal queen, which is Gematria for 163, in their fight against the maestro. If you think it's just a coincidence, wait until you see how it's connected to the Washington Post article calling for impeachment 19 minutes after POTUS was sworn in. Have you ever wondered why 19 minutes? Here's the answer. It has to praise Colt 93. And here's an image, this next image talks about just that. It talks about Colt 93 in sync with the Washington Post and Nancy's impeachment. And so here you see the inauguration was on January 20th at 2017. Exactly 19 minutes later, you had the Washington Post saying the campaign to impeach President Trump has begun by Matea Gold, right? 19 minutes later. But if you take 19, you can break that down into 9 times 2 plus 1. And what's 9 and 2 plus 1? Well, that's 93. So that's how they code 93 into all this stuff. Remember, 93 came originally from a cultist early on that we're going to get into in later. Astra Crowley, I think it is. And so you'll see that that points back to the immortal queen and all this numerology, etc. So the impeachment vote was on December 18th, 2019. If you look at that, that was 1,063 days. That's 34 months and 29 days. You take 34 and 29, and you can actually, that could be 4 plus 2 minus 3 times 9 can be 93. 12/18/2009, the date itself can break down into 93 as well. And the decoded message here, well, there's more of this. It's talking about this whole article. The campaign to impeach President Trump has begun. That whole article, if you take the 20 paragraphs and take all these capital letters, it's 298, which would be 19. You take the numbers in the dates, that would be 25 in Gematria. You take the title, that would be 92. They're saying, where's the missing one here? So 25 obviously points to family Y, which is the Rothschilds and the Illuminati at the highest of levels, right? And then you've got the title here is 92. Where's the missing one? It's hidden in the date caps. So you take all the capitals of the date, and there you get your 1. 92 plus 1 is 93. And Nazi methods. And here's, and I'm not sure exactly where he's taking these numbers from. I haven't had time to really dig into it, but he's pointing to Hitler as well. So the decoded message is this, though. See, I can get this larger for you guys here on Reddit. In addition to Nazi references confirmed by later events like Shifty's basement or an accusation of a crime without a victim, the WAPO article calling for POTUS impeachment 19 minutes after he was sworn in has 93 and why written all over it. Dems also quoted 93 in the date they picked for impeachment and in the time separating it from Inauguration Day. The Dems priests also gave a shout out to their immortal queen with the 1063 day Delta, hoping this will add some more power to their impeachment effort and the related Kabbalistic operations. Well, sorry, not gonna work. Don't you get it? Satan has already left the battlefield. That's what he does. So remember, Satan is a entity that is not omnipresent. He only can be in one place at one time. He's not nearly as powerful as our Almighty God, who's omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. God can be part everywhere at the same time. So you have an omnipresent Jesus, an omnipresent Father, an omnipresent Holy Ghost, and a devil that can only be in one place at one time. Now has a bunch of demons, but that makes him, he wants to make you think he's bigger than he is. And when Satan, you sell your soul to Satan and he sees risk, he just departs from you and leaves. Just discards you. That's what Satan does, as SBC talks about it. For all these reasons, the maestro asked on the day of impeachment to say a prayer. Enjoy how he connected it to the Washington Post 19-minute impeachment article through the Q board. So this is interesting. So here you got his actual tweet here. Can you believe that I will be impeached today by the radical left, do nothing Democrats, and I did nothing wrong? A terrible thing. Read the transcripts. This should never happen to another president. Say a prayer. Now, it's real interesting. You see how he says, and I did nothing wrong is all in capitals, and prayers all in capitals. That's going to give a lot of decoding information, because you know he takes all the capital letters, and you also see the timestamp of 734. That's the comms that they're using. So this points to 734 drop. There it is right there. It talks about sauce, and has an article that actually points to experimental drug promises to kill the flu viruses in a day. That's the Wall Street Journal article. What a coincidence. This board has more power and influence than anyone comprehends. Q. And in that post that they're pointing to there, you can see there's a timestamp on the actual article, and you actually take the timestamp and it adds the 19. The 19 is the 19 minutes after he was inaugurated, is when the article, the campaign to impeach President Trump, has just begun. And then you take all the capital letters, equals 470. You say it best when you say nothing at all. Prayer, follow. Also, and I did nothing wrong, all those capital letters is 209. Crossfire hurricane. So what is the decoded message? By asking to say a prayer, the maestro reveals the massive demonic activity surrounding the Colt 93 impeachment effort. Then by using 39 capital letters to the mirror of 93, he hints that with divine assistance and the power of our prayers, the things they do are not only fruitless, but will continue to backfire. The Colt 93 virus that has infected our government and society is being eradicated despite their 19-minute WAPO rallying cry on Inauguration Day. Take a front seat and follow how their crossfire hurricane operation is systematically deconstructed and the way it leads to the inevitable indictments. Q 1888. You all get to go to jail. Q. Woo! Is that exciting or what? Whoa, that was image 38. What? Okay, with what you know now about Colt 93 and the WAPO 19-minute impeachment article, can you precisely decode Slotkin's hand sign and the message she was sending? Let's watch again and try to solve. This is Slotkin.
I came out in September, and I wrote a similar op-ed September 23rd in the Detroit Free Press that I thought, after many, many months of not supporting an inquiry, that I thought it was time to come to have an inquiry. I wrote that in September.
And this is where everybody's yelling, "That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie." And you can go watch that 2-minute video if you'd like to, but SB2 is going to explain it pretty well here. It says, here's the solution in image 39. So in this deal, you'll see at minute 26, she actually gives the sign, right? And I'll show that at a minute and 26, I believe it was, if I remember right, from the last, there it is, right there. So I'm going to back up to 122. In about 4 seconds, you're going to see her give the 93 sign, or the OK sign, which often is 93. It also can be 666. Here she is.
And his lawyer came out and said very specific.
Look at that. She does it right there. And what's interesting about that is that she doesn't do that any other time during the speech. She's clearly doing these type of things. It's obviously not her natural deal. Very specifically, she says that. And so that is the sign that he's talking about right here. And there it is right there. And very specifically is 190, by the way, as far as Gematria goes. The lawyer came out and said very specifically. And then if you take the 190 and break that up, you can get to 93. And you'll see, obviously, just a while ago through Q, we saw pictures of Obama doing that, and we see Pelosi doing that, and Hillary doing that. And right here, we talked about the 19 minutes already and how that breaks down to 93. The decoded message is this. Slotkin is a traitor. Yet another one. She makes the 93 hand sign at the exact time she says very specifically 190, which connects to the now famous 19-minute Washington Post impeachment article. This is code for I never hesitated on impeachment. I was on board since day one. I am C_A and faithful Colt 93 asset. And followed the instructions coded in the Washington Post article published 19 minutes after POTUS was sworn in. I was on a mission and wanted to pull as many people as possible on our side. Bye, Slotkin. I love it. I love how SB2 is basically just showing how Trump is dismantling this impeachment inquiry, this whole, I guess, Ukraine hoax that we're having to deal with right now. Now, when you catch a clownfish like Slotkin, what do? Yes, you go through all her comms to know more. Try to decode this article she wrote about impeachment when she claimed she was still thinking it through. And that there's a link to an article there that talks about that right here. And it says, U.S. Representative Slotkin, if true, new allegations constitute an impeachable offense. And so that's a whole article, another one of those clown articles. Here is the solution in image 40. We're getting there, guys. Of the 78 drops here, we're at 40 now. More on Slotkin. So you see there's the article I just showed you. And you see this, you publish this and you look at the actual date. That can turn into 93. You take title caps, U.S. Resi, so all the capital letters right there, and it talks about the AE network. And you look at the paragraph caps, it can go to, we're going to lock him up. And here you got digits in the article. All the articles can get to 93. Digits in the article can also get to Y. The signature, U.S. Rep. Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat, Hollywood, represents Michigan's 8th district. And if you look at this 108, it also can point to this pentagram, a satanic pentagram. And obviously that goes to the 666 whole area. So here's the decoded message. Despite selling to the general public that she's approaching the allegations against POTUS with the benefit of the doubt, Slotkin codes for her C_A friends lock him up 108, which is also the number Satanists love because of its geometrical property in the pentagram. She enriches her article with all sorts of praises for Colt 93, 666, and her masters from Family Y. She also gives a short shout out to the Viva la Viva Resistance Network, and with an anagram of Russie in the title. which is Russia in French. You'll see that right here in the title of this. I can't remember where the Rushi was. I'll have to go back to that. Anyway, so she also gives a shout out to the Vive network when an anagram of Russie in the title, which is Russia from French. Knowing from the DOJ text message that this network discussed attempting to assassinate POTUS, Slocum's message to her network is clear, and in this context, it's about a political assassination. Guys, this is for show. You already know I don't care if these allegations are true or not. Let's just do this. Q 1223. They think they are clever. Q. Whoa. I tell you what, that is kind of exciting there. I was just looking again for the Rushi of where that is, or maybe it was coded in something. Not sure exactly what that was. Maybe that was from the previous image. But let's continue. That was, here's a solution in image 40. This is one she wrote to justify her final decision. So here's another article she wrote, and image 41 goes over this one. And there's a link here, right here, to this article. And so here's Slocum, how I reached my decision on impeachment. She's trying to justify it, and her constituents don't believe it. They're sitting there yelling, that's a lie, that's a lie, right? And the timestamp of this tweet here that she put out points to Y. The tweet caps points to 93. The picture size, as well as all digits in the picture size, can point to 32 Obama. And I'm not sure exactly what they're doing with the 22 21, but he's just pointing to 19 and 23. And he's basically doing a bunch of decoding to get to Y, 93, 666, and the 48, 45 versus 93. So tons of coding in here he's looking at. And the signature, Alyssa Slocum represents Michigan's 8th Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. And this is another Detroit Free Press article versus the tweet. So there's, that talks about the same article of how she reached this. And that's where we got even the title caps can go to hires and renegade, Obama, pointing to family Y, and all the way to 93 and 45 versus 93. There you go. So the Decode obviously talked about that. So Slocum signs this article differently. She needs to adjust the counts. This time she adds the skiff impeachment architect renegade to the usual list of praises she addressed to Colt 93, 666, and Family Y. For those of you who missed it, Obama was all behind going into a skiff with Pelosi, with Nadler, with Shifty Schiff, and planning this whole, hoax in Ukraine. Trump really fooled him by coding stuff in those two speeches or conversations, phone conversations with Zelensky from Ukraine, and released the transcripts. So that's a lot of what you're going to see decoded here in parts 3 and 4. It's exactly what he coded into there. Now, with this sequence, 2122 extracted from the tweet cap count and the timestamp minutes, she hints that 8 p.m. in the timestamp should be read 20 to get to family Y and generate the 19 connected to the WAPO impeachment article along with the 23 confirming 45 in the article. With a sequence of 5, 6, 7 extracted from the picture weight, she pulls 48, which is the result for 93 minus 45. In other words, she's picturing that the impeachment operations carried out by Colt 93 against 45 will be successful. It always amazes me to see how Satanists are fascinated by quantity, because the quantity of ways they do this. And what's interesting here, remember, they have brilliant mathematical people on the Colt side that are doing what SB2 is doing for them. So it's real interesting. She confirms her wishful thinking by inserting the anagram for hires in the article title to signify she hopes to see her mental picture manifest in reality in high definition, and that with her wolf in sheep's clothing strategy, she's been trying to hire for impeachment to that effect. As you can see, Slocum has been busy. And that was image 41. And we go, let's pause for a moment and summarize what we've learned about Colt 93 so far. And that's where he gets into 42. And he talks about Colt 93, the 666, and the Y family, and the red shoes here. It's politicians, UN, governments, etc. It's fake news, media, Hollywood, etc. Business, central banks, big tech, etc. Big pharma, academia, secret societies, law enforcement, C_A. So this is interesting. This is a little similar to what I talked about the 7 mountains, not 7M method theology, but I'm just talking about how they've infiltrated all parts. I break up media and the arts and entertainment world as separate deals. Business is 1, obviously that's 3. Big pharma I put as part of the business ones, but academia is another one. And then the secret societies is he's kind of separated that infiltrates all of these. Government is one of them, right? And it includes the CIA, the government, and politicians. Law enforcement starts. I put that into government as well. But then I have religion and family as the 7 mountains, right? But this really does a good job of understanding that they're everywhere, and they took over every part of those, and that's why we have to go fight to get that culture back. Those mountains of cultural influence, we need to fight to get them back. Satan is at war against mankind. In exchange for earthly wealth and power, he recruited a few families with which he develops a generic program allowing him to import his forces into our dimension through human sacrifices, violent abuse against children, rituals, cannibalism, and ancient practices involving the massive spilling of human blood. Followers of this cult, called Colt 93, are organized according to a pyramidal structure led by the family Y triangle that is composed of the era's 3 most powerful families. Through Colt 93 and organized like the Vatican, the intelligence communities, and secret societies, Satan has managed to spread his tentacles across all major power structures of the planet and rule nations through spying, blackmail, and the active cooperation of devoted worshippers posing as government agents. Q3. Many in our government worship Satan. With the complicity of the fake news and the law enforcement, the crimes of the Colt 93 have been covered up, and strategies to normalize pedophilia and cannibalism covertly executed by the media. Colt 93 uses the media and symbolism to communicate and praise their divinities through logos, numbers, articles, movies, etc. Paying a little attention allows you to discover this somber reality. And that was image 42 that just summarized where we are. Now we have a clear understanding. Man, this is long. this is just part 2, right? It's like, whoa. So we're about on image 43. I'm just going to make up here. Yep, this is not even halfway through with this. And let's see, I'm just doing a quick time check to see where we are. We're at 37 minutes, and I want to do some scripture, so we only have about 15 minutes or so to continue here. Looks like this is going to really be a 2B part, and I'm not going to get to 3 yet. Let's pause for a moment and summarize where we are. Yes, we did. Now that we have a clear understanding of what Colt 93 is, we are equipped to understand the maestro's message coded in the no quid pro quo notes he was holding after Sondland testified and automized Shifty. Watch and try to analyze. And I'm not going to go over this because it's a pretty long video, but it's really interesting.
Go very
it's a 2.5 minutes, but I'm going to show you. He's got his notes, and he's sitting there reading his notes, and people were making fun of him for reading his notes. But why were they doing that? Because he knew there'd be cameras showing his notes. Sure enough, we have cameras that took pictures of that. And he's basically just reading, saying that there was no quid pro quo. I say, I want nothing from Ukraine. I want no quid pro quo. And so I want him just to do the right thing, which is what, president should want them to look into corruption, especially when we know there was so much massive corruption. So that's that video. And it says, first, let's document how the fake news mocks the maestro for holding notes and how they prove their ignorance and or dishonesty. And so those that can code, it's obviously dishonesty. But here is Esquire saying, since when does Trump need notes to remember his bullshit routines? I'm sorry for the but that's pretty much what the article said. Sorry but that's, you can see, I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. And he's got these, it's really, you can see how bold this is, so we can see exactly the entire notes that he has there. Donald Trump handwritten notes on impeachment hearing. Response look deranged. So obviously there you go, got the dishonest media, the enemy of the people, lying about our president. Trump holds quid pro quo note to Air Force One, misspells Zelensky's name. So you know that that's going to be actually on purpose. He's got an extra L in there. That'll be interesting. And later in the transcripts we saw yesterday, he had an extra Y in there on the transcripts to show pointing the family Y you're going down. We'll see in a second what the extra L is for. Donald Trump carries quid pro quo notes to Air Force One, misspells Ukrainian President Zelensky's name. So there they are, mocking him versus really praising him for taking down and protecting this company. They're taking down the Colt and protecting this country. Just showing you that the Mockingbird media is Colt 93. They are truly enemies of God, truly enemies of the people. Now, second, we understand the maestro's notes are there for us to decode. We zoom in and focus on the paragraph's first letters and how they are aligned. Here's the solution. This is image 43, where we can actually see the capital letters of every one of them. We can see I, Q, T, T, R, T, F, 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 I think it is, or maybe that's an O there. But you can see how he made it so clear so that we could actually read it all. And so now if you take it, you've done what he's done many times, like when it was Kofifi and many other things that SB2 has done to show us how to take misspellings and figure out what they're saying. He takes Zelensky and the correct spelling of Zelensky and factors out the differences, right? And then he basically comes down to Hussein is C_A is confirmed. And 65 are solved with a 4, renew 4 more years. We earn 4 more years. And you can see that Hussein is CIA comes we earn, the missing A. Barack Obama, 63, missing C. And then the 65 comes out of that. And there's a bunch of other, looking at the capital letters, Hillary, Obama, don't be fooled again. And so he's warning us about 2020 here. The decoded messages 1 through 3. Here it is. The starting capital letters on the same vertical line solve with Obama, 32 and 44th, and Hillary, 85. The clue was that Q provided the punctuation and the maestro gave us it's all over again, which is code for this whole impeachment hoax is Obama and Hillary back at it again. Number 2, 3. Maestro misspells Zelensky to confirm Hussein is C_A and that his impeachment hoax backfired big time. Thank you, Hussein and Hillary. 4 more years. All the starting capital letters add up to 149, which is code for don't be fooled again by this hoax. And since 149 is code for 93, again, 149, we can do 4 minus 1, there's your 93. The Maestro reveals that Hussein and HRC were helped by Colt 93 in their impeachment effort. With this connection, the crimes against children coded in the transcripts and the video that President Zelensky shared with POTUS are confirmed. 3 of 3 says the cooperation between the U.S. and Ukraine authorities is the door to the unveiling of horrible crimes against children perpetuated by Hussein, HRC, and other high-profile U.S. officials. Ukraine is the domino Hussein and HRC could not afford to let fall. Hence the impeachment hoax and their effort to undermine the good relationship POTUS has with President Zelensky. Now you know what Ukraine is really about. Wow. That was an awesome post there, I thought. Third, to catch the deeper layer of intel, we noticed we used 11 letters to code 93 through 149. Here's the second layer of information. So if you take this as well, you can take the 11 letters and don't be fooled again is 149. 149, as we showed, can turn to 93. It's all over again. And then you see these 11 can represent the way God made it, male, female, right? Represents unity, how God created Adam in his own image and how his unity was replicated with the manifestation of Eve, the genetic blueprint. Y represents a separation and alteration of the original genetic blueprint. That could almost be like a transgender person, right? It's versus a male and female separation. And here's the alternate genetic path Satan sold to the Cult 93 followers. And you can see this is the sign of Lucifer here. Lucifer, the fallen angel, by Gustave Doré. And the decoded message is this. When you notice 149 is code for 93, again, you'll see the deeper meaning of the word again. And why the maestro makes it appear twice in the decode. He's going all the way back to the origins and is referring to the way Adam and Eve were deceived by Satan in Eden. Once you see this, understanding why the maestro used 11 letters to code 93 becomes easy. He closed the gap between the two original ones that were separated by Satan to get his why. Do you see it? This Y represents the alteration of Adam and Eve's original genetic blueprint and the satanic disruption that later led to the flood. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. That's Matthew 24:37. As you can see, the Bible revealed the future, and the members of Cult 93 picked the side of those who lost in the past. Again. That was image 45. This is it, my friends. The maestro is opening the door for us to understand what is really going behind the curtains, multiple layers beyond politics. Q167. POTUS opened the door of all doors. Expand your thinking. What is the keystone? Q. Those who are familiar with my writings already know that this war, the war we are engaged in, is primarily spiritual. This is not allegorical. This is real. We are fighting spirits, some in human form and some in another form. Q. Are we alone? Roswell? Q. 222. No. Highest classification. Consider the vastness of space. Q. By the way, we did a whole 4 pillars of Satan, the vastness of space decode from Gene on Backstage. So if you join with the 30-day free trial, you can go watch that. It's quite interesting. So again, the way you do that is you go to theblessedteach.com with a number 2, and there's a tab for Backstage. If you go to Backstage, you can go down to the bottom of it and actually join. And this is where you would join Rick Backstage. And it is, again, 30% off, only $9.97 a month, but you get 30 days completely free. And if you pay for a year in advance, it's another 30% off. So it comes down to closer to $7, $8 a month. Okay? Again, first 30 days free for either of these offers. That goes away on the 2nd. So capture that deal. Go check it out. See if you like what Gene is doing Backstage. What I did with my son Josh, who talks about red pilling me. What I'm going to be doing with Searchy tool. There's a lot more than just the exclusive content. There's also the Searchy tool, 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after. You can see the recordings and or live with me. And I'll be adding some more Searchy stuff. Not only all my shows, I'm going to be doing probably the prophecies of Kim Clement and Mark Taylor, where you can find the exact minute and second of any term. So if you want to know, hey, what did Mark Taylor say about the Evil Crew of 32? And you would search on Evil Crew of 32, boom, takes you right there where I'm going to be speaking Mark's prophecies. So join me Backstage. It's going to be fun, guys. That is going to be, obviously, if we get knocked off YouTube, I'm going to be using that Zoom platform and using my Searchy platform for you guys to find things the way you want. So we don't need YouTube anymore because they, as you know, they're going to be taking us out here soon. They already have the terms of service to be able to do it. They already know I'm not profitable because they make sure that none of my videos are ever recommended because they demonetize them. So the demonetization is not only a way to hurt the truthers, It's primarily a way to not have the truthers video shared. But you guys share these videos so much and everything, it's not working for them very well, is it? So anyway, that's I just want to make sure that you guys know that I've got a BitChute backup channel and my whole Backstage channel using Zoom in a cloud platform. I've already invested to where we don't need YouTube anymore. And so if you want to make sure you know where I am, join my email list, get Backstage, or get on my BitChute. If you haven't done one of those three things, you may lose me forever and many other truthers. We're all going to BitChute, and we're all investing in our own platforms because we have to. Because they could take BitChute down just like they took 8kun down, right? 8chan down. So that's why I can't just focus on BitChute. I had to go invest on my Zoom platform and my cloud platform. But it's much better than YouTube. The searching capabilities, much better. So make sure you go do that. Again, we'll do one of those three things. If you want my free content, go to the BitChute account. You can go to the very bottom of my blessed2teach.com and you'll see the BitChute right here. BITCHUTE. So make sure you do that. That's where my free content is going to be. For again, a nominal amount per month, we're going to have the Zoom platform and the Searchy platform where you can search and find a minute and second of everything that I do, which is much better than the YouTube engine, which only looks at the titles. It'll look at every single word I say, every single word Gene says, every single word Mark Taylor says when I have him on the show or other guests. It's much more powerful. And so I'm very proud of this platform. It's a very nominal fee again that'll allow you to keep up with me. And then the third way to keep in touch with me is to just join the email list so I can tell you where we are in case the whole internet goes down or something that Q tells us is going to happen eventually. All right. That is consider the vastness of space. You can go see Gene's exclusive content on the 4 pillars of Satan that talks about the vastness of space and exactly how much water we have in the universe, etc., that people are lying to us. If you want to know what we've been lied to about space, go see that Backstage. I wrote a previous article about God's perfect creation and how the golden ratio manifests in various aspects of our life, such as biology, economy, etc. One of the ways Satan and his followers wage war against mankind is in their attempt to replace the original divine creation and its blueprint with altered versions supported by unverified theories. Q189. All that you know to be right is wrong. The cult runs the world. Fantasyland. For example, in response to the natural Fibonacci sequence reading to the golden ratio, here's the family Y sequence. This is image 46. Image 46 goes into this whole corruption of the Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series is pretty easy. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. So that's why it goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, etc. And it just continues. That's the Fibonacci series. It's a natural series. The secret war of numbers. So what Family Y did is they added 7 to all this, and they came up with the Y structure. So here is the decode for that. It says the Family Y tree or sequence is identified through the additional and subtraction of the 2 digits forming Y25. This generates a sequence of 32, 57, which leads to the 7 when going left, subtracting 25, and to the branches and fruits when going right, adding multiples of 25. Since 4 times 25 equals 100, you can see their structure with the 4 fundamental pillars, 7, 32, 57, 82, each ascending to the next floor through increments of hundreds. Satan has noticed how the Fibonacci sequence and its golden ratio are omnipresent in God's perfect creation, and in particular how it's coded in our DNA. Mimicking God, they created their own sequence starting with 7 instead of 1, which is stupid, right? And simply adding 25 at each increment. As you can see, their approach to numbers modeling reality is more quantitative than in the case of the Fibonacci sequence that is naturally generates everything out of unity. This 25 arithmetic sequence is the blueprint of their general strategy and control of alternation of the human's DNA. Through rituals and human sacrifices, Family Y and their magicians use this model to shape reality and import into our planet and biology extra dimensional entities to help them advance their satanic agenda. Q1002, money, power, influence, the bite that has no cure. NSA. Q, who will join me in my world and enjoy watching the secret war of numbers between the Maestro and Family Y. The secret war of numbers. That was image 46. Since we've elected POTUS, these two models were at war, and for example, what you were witnessing in the economy, the stock market, or in the international trade are manifestations of the opposition. If you pay attention, you will find out the Maestro tweets updates about this fascinating war. Here is one example among many. And this is the last image of part 2 here, image 47. Image 47 shows a couple of tweets here and builds out on this whole thing. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 tweets by Trump, and he's basically taking a bunch of analysis of the digit sums you can see from these. And he's also looking at the timestamp of this first one. And I'm not going to have time to go over all this, but it basically is pointing to the Illuminati bloodline, 13. 23 is the 32 that they always talk about when you flip it around. It comes down to this 14. It's pointing to some other things like China's yuan breaches critical level of 7 to the dollar, prompting Trump critique, because they bring it down and down as their currency manipulations going on, so it's pointing to that. We see another tweet by Trump over here with a timestamp that points to the Colt 93, number 133. You can see the timestamp here brings in some things as well, which that's the Colt 93. The capital letters bring to 160, what can be economic collapse and evolution. So this is all being decoded, all these deltas, etc. And this actually points to Q. Trump pointing to Q with some deltas there, 1717. The code message is this: the Maestro gave us an update on his war against Colt 93 and Family Y when the U.S. stock market was violently attacked through his historic yuan manipulation. Since yuan equals 61 equals QAnon, he stays in context and codes evolution in the delta between the day he doubled down on the tariffs and the day the stock market hit another record high, despite the multiple attacks. His message to the cabal is clear: the math you believe will help you hijack our DNA, force evolution, and still our wealth is weak. The economic collapse you promised did not happen. You have too little horns to attack the divine sequence. So they're losing this war in numbers. They're losing the war in the real world. Now you go right here, you click that, and it'll bring you right to 3, which I already have open in a bigger one right here. So let's move it right here. And this one is Trump versus Colt 93, the secret war that Trump is winning. Part 3, the explosive truth about 9/11. Wow. So we're going to obviously I'm going to try to do something tonight, probably around 5 o'clock or so. We've run out of time. I'm just going to start this so I can say I did 3